Hi, and welcome to Dave's Think Tank. To really get the most out of your Arduino upgrades to your Flash Gordon or your Star Trek, you really need to have the music from these shows. Unfortunately, I don't own the rights to just give you this music along with the software, but there's a simple solution to this problem. You can just buy the music. Any music you want is available online for as little as $1 a song. Let's take a look. There are a number of sources online where you can buy music. You can go on Amazon and just look for a soundtrack CD for Star Trek or for Flash Gordon. There are plenty of Star Trek to choose from. Then if you have a CD reader attached to your computer, you can copy the files. This is going to cost you about $20, $30 for every CD, plus another 20 or 30 if you need to buy the CD reader. We're going to go a different direction, much less expensive. We're going to download the songs directly to your computer. Now I have an Apple computer, so I already have iTunes. But if you don't have iTunes installed, if you have a Windows computer, for example, you can just go to Google and type in download iTunes. And download a copy for free. Now once in iTunes, go to the iTunes store. And you want to search. And you can search your library, Apple Music, or iTunes Store. We want to search iTunes Store. And type in the music you want. Let's look for Star Trek. And all kinds of CDs show up. And they're all about $10 each. Now let's take a look at Wrath of Khan. This has two of the titles I used and I really recommend. You'll find here Surprise Attack and Kirk's Explosive Reply. I use those for the one-ball mini games in my Star Trek Pinball. Now the other songs that I have included are here: Brass Monkeys, Time Reverse Future Risk, The Trouble with Tribble Suite, Silvery Orbs, Goodbye Mr. Decker, Violent Shakes. These will be on another album. Let's just type in the name of the album, Star Trek Volume 2. And it has a couple of them. Let's pull up the album itself. The album is $10, and let's see, we have Violent Shakes, we have Goodbye Mr. Decker. It doesn't have all the songs you want, but you can certainly find 6 that you wanted here. If you want to see some of the rest of them, maybe you want to see Silvery Orbs. So let's type in Star Trek Silvery Orbs. We can find this album is $8.99. That song you can buy for 99 cents. Not all the songs are available for 99 cents. Sometimes you have to buy the whole album. Now you can preview any song before committing to buy it. If you're looking for Flash Gordon, just search for Queen Flash. And here's the whole album. and it's $12, but and you cannot buy the individual songs. For this game, I like In the Space Capsule for the skill shot. I like Flash's theme for the regular game, and I like the battle theme for the final battle. But you may prefer, Voltan's theme for the battle, or In the Death Cell for the skill shot. It's entirely up to you. Now, one other thing you might want is a instrumental version of Flash's theme. Pinball music files for my software are really best if they have little or no voices, because the voices of the music can interfere with the voices of the pinball, and you don't want all the voices talking at once. I found one reasonable version for sale on iTunes. So let's just type in Flash new synthesizer experience. And there should be a copy of it here. Yep, right at the top. So it's not a bad version. I found a really good version actually on YouTube. So let's go to YouTube and type in Queen Flash Instrumental. And there's a version right here, which is almost identical to the original, minus the voices. Now you have the files on your computer, but you may need to locate them. Apple tends to hide these files away deep in the directory structure. So if you can't find them, just try searching on the name of one of the files. Let's try looking for Brass Monkey. And it shows up in a fair number of my things, probably not so much in yours. Yeah, that's probably it right there. And we found it. Here it is. It's probably, everything is in this directory here. And there it is. There they all are. Once you have the music on your computer, copy the files you want to use into a directory where you can work on them. Now that we have the files, we need to convert them to a format the pinball can play. This is an M4A file. We need it to be a WAV file. Now the best app that I have found to do this is open with WavePad Audio Editor. Just Google it and download it. It's free. Then open one of your music files with it. All we want to do here is save the file in another format. So select File, Save File As. We can leave the name the same for now. WAV file, Save. And the options you want, probably here already: high quality, PCM encoding, stereo, 44,100 Hertz, and 16 bits integer. Don't worry about what any of that means, just save. And there it is. Now you'll likely want to do some editing on these files. If you're really good with WavePad, you may want to use it for the next part. At least one of the functions you need is pay only though, so I prefer to use the Audacity app. It does everything I've ever wanted, except converting to WAV files. It's free, so just go to Google, find Audacity app and download it. Now let's load one of these files. Open with Audacity. If you have a Star Trek and you're trying to add music to it, you probably don't have to do too much editing. If you have a Star Trek, most of the music options are instrumental only, so you can maybe skip this part. Now this music in the space capsule doesn't start where I want it to start. It starts with a couple of guitar chords. And then it finally gets to the music that I want. So what we can do is just highlight that and hit delete. There. It also has a whole bunch of just noise at the end. I'm not sure why this is part of the song, but okay, we don't want any of that, so highlight it, delete. Now we want to get rid of voices. So what you can do is just listen for voices.
Entering our control range. Approaching the sea of fire. Bringing through safely. Left.
Okay, those voices we want to get rid of, so we can just highlight that, delete it. And let's just listen to it, see how it sounds. Now there's a bit of a break in there, so you may need to do a little work to get it to flow naturally. Find just the right place to break. There are functions like fade in and fade out that you can use to help you here. And play around with it and figure out exactly what you want to do. Now, there are also options here to increase the volume. Let's see, I'm not sure you can see this. Volume and compression. There we go. Amplify. Oh, we have to select what we want to amplify. Let's amplify everything from here to here. Okay, effect, volume and compression, amplify. And it gives you a number here, 3.3. That's probably a good number to use. And it increases it. It tries to keep all the sound. So it's trying to keep this one little point right here. We can probably, don't need to worry about that point right there. So let's try a little higher number. Volume and compression, amplify. And let's just put in double. There we go. So that's probably pretty good. That's a little louder. It'll sound more full when you run it on the pinball. And to save it, we click on File, Export Audio. Leave the name as it is for now. Stereo 44100, signed 16-bit PCM. Now this is important. Edit metadata. All of this data is in there. The name of the group, the name of the song, etc., the name of the album. We want to get rid of all that. So we just hit clear. The GTO and the wave trigger cannot work with this, so you have to just clear it all out, say OK, and export that file. Okay, it says we already have one. Let's copy over it. And here it is. The next step is to rename the files to a name that the wave trigger or GTO board is going to recognize. For Star Trek, the names look like this. A 4-digit number, underscore, and the name of the actual music. And the most important part is the number at the beginning. You should have 8 sound files with whatever names you like, but they must start with the numbers 182 underscore through 0190 underscore. It's 182 to 187 for the regular game. The 189 and 190 are for the one ball challenge games. These numbers are important because without them, the wave trigger will not be able to find the files. Flash Gordon is similar, but the names should look like this. Flash Gordon needs 3 music files, and the names of these files must start with these numbers. The obvious difference in these files is that they have 2 numbers at the start of the name. You need to include both of them for the software to find them and play them. So let's make the change. Find your new file and choose a name for it. I'm going to call it, just call it Love Theme. lovetheme.wave. The name really doesn't matter. You could call this whatever you want. Now add the number at the front, and the number was 1707 underscore 0171 underscore, and hit enter, and the new name is set up. We're almost done now. The last step is to transfer the files you've created to either the wave trigger or the GTO card, whichever you have in your machine. Just remove the micro SD card, press down, and it pops up. Remove it carefully. Now you need a micro SD card reader. It might look like something like this, or it might look like this if you have a slot for one of these in your computer. And this will fit in there. Now just plug the micro SD card into a USB port on your computer. And drag and drop your new file into your micro SD card. Now, if you're working with the GTO, there will be a bunch of directories here. One will be called Flash Gordon. Don't put the file in there. That's your original GTO files. You just want to save those pristine in case you need to replace them at some point. But now let's take a look in here, and let's just sort by name. Good. And let's just look for those numbers that we had. So there was, okay, 1785. Here it is. There's only one of those. 1707 and 1708. Okay, 1708. We've only got one of those. 1707. We've got 2 of these because we've just added one. It's got a slightly different name than the original. You only want one of these files, so I have to delete one. I'm going to delete the one I just added. You're probably going to not delete the one you just added, but there it goes. It's gone. For the Star Trek, you need to make a couple of changes to the software. I'm going to make a separate video on all the steps involved in updating the software, but let's go over the relevant steps here. Okay, you want to load up the Arduino IDE and load in the Star Trek software. You want to go to ST2025 P12.h, or whatever the current number is, but it's this .h file, and all the way down to the bottom. Now down here you've got a couple of lines here called background music, and it will currently be on background music with all 181s. That's all bridge sounds. So you want to comment that out by putting a couple of slashes on the front. And the one above is what you want, so you uncomment that. And now your background music includes 181 and all the files that we just added, 182, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It'll be able to find all the background music that we just added. Now down at the very bottom there are 4 lines called BG Minigame 1 and 2. Now you want to comment out the ones that are pointing to 181, the bridge sounds, comment those out, and uncomment these above it. So now Minigame 1 will play song 189, which we just added. Minigame 2 will play song 190. And as I said, I'm going to make another video going over all the details of upgrading the software. But we can try compiling it for now, just to make sure that your changes work. Last step, you want to take your micro SD card and put it back in the machine. Press it into place, and we're done. So, let's play a game.
magic, of course.
Escape is impossible.
This place is a lunatic asylum.
Try, feast, or die.
By magic, of course.
Oh, well. Who wants to live forever?
$1,000,007. Not a bad game.